one of the reasons why people are people pleasers is because they're so scared of confrontation.
Mhm.
And what that leads to is just changing jobs constantly. And I actually have a stat here that I really wanted to share with you. LinkedIn data shows Gen Z's changed job 134% more than millennials did at the same age. And their top reason is lack of career growth or feeling undervalued, which I think is really interesting because I mean, given the conversation we've just had, I think there's lots of things that you've mentioned that could increase people's chances of career growth. Like you said, the aspirational element. And then you've also said, the feeling of feeling undervalued. I definitely understand. If you're not transparent and honest with your employees, it can make them feel undervalued. But it is hard to, number one, have a difficult conversation with a manager when you're just starting out. And when you're a manager and you've got to have a difficult conversation with an employee, it can also be really challenging. So I think let's tackle that bit first and then move on to what we do if we're so scared as a manager of our employees constantly leaving. Because that's a huge problem. It's happened to me also. It feels like people come in, they do the work, they do the experience. They're like, right, see, I'm doing my own thing now. And it can be quite difficult.
Mhm. Once upon a time, like a long, 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 long time ago, 25,000 years ago, being a people pleaser was the difference between us belonging to the tribe or being eaten by a bear. So like people pleasing, belonging to that tribe, people liking us, people wanting to stay around us and protect us and love us was the innate difference between that and being left alone and being eaten by a bear. So it's very much within our soul, within our wiring to people please, get people to like us. And on a certain level, that has done people well for their careers.
Yeah.
Like, play the game, climb the ladder, etc. The problem is, and this is a problem we've only had in the last 10 years, is now society is just so reactive, it's so connected, it's so globalized, it's so on, that if you say yes to everything, if you say yes again to every meeting invite, if you avoid conflict, if you say yes, even every social occasion, like you will very quickly find yourself burnt out.
Yes.
Saying yes used to just mean, yes, I'll be the one to cook the dinner on the fire tonight. Now it's like, I could be at a different social occasion every single evening if I didn't say no, if I didn't get really
100%.
really hard with my nose. And so when we are people pleasing, it is wired within us. If we want to be a well-respected leader, a well-respected manager at work with long-term career success, so not just like a quick jump, a quick salary promotion, long-term career success where people respect us, we're in it for the long game, like, we're playing the long game, the long-term respect. You have to stop looking for those quick hits of approval. And again, it goes back to the notifications, the meeting invites, like all the times that you say yes to a task that you aren't sure you can actually do in the long run because you don't know if you can fit it into your day. Every time you say yes to that and then let someone down,
Yeah.
your word has been sacrificed. You're essentially your promise, your word to someone else. And so the long-term respect is therefore cut. So you're trading your long-term respect, your long-term credibility for this quick hit of approval, essentially. And it's the same with difficult conversations. Like, so I've got a friend who runs a small business. She messaged me this the other day. One of her team members, she just feels like they don't care. She just feels as though they just do not care. And there's been some small knocks, so small things like she just takes a long time to reply to things. She like will always just be a few minutes late, like never crazily late, but just a bit late enough that you kind of think, I'm not sure you really give a shit.
Right.
And she came to me and she was like, I feel like I'm just nitpicking. But at the same time, it's starting to really grind me down. And the conversation I have there is just, if you ignore this thing, it is not going away. It's
100%.
a bigger conversation that potentially is a big blow up, conflicting, maybe having to fire them, maybe having to just have some really awkward, difficult conversation down the line. By just having this now and just having a really, I would say quite simple, look, I'm just getting this feeling because of you a few minutes late. I'm just getting this feeling that you don't care. Can we talk about it?
Yeah.
Opening that up in the beginning is so much easier than letting things fester.
100%. I've spoken about this so many times, and I actually love confrontation, and people think I'm a weirdo for it, but I'm a problem solver. And the problem is not going to solve itself if you keep your feelings inside your chest and I keep them inside my chest, because guess what? I'm not a psychic, and I'm sure neither are you. And so I actually really do love confrontation. Now, what's really interesting, and I think an exercise that people can do right now at home, right? Look at your work calendar, like you said, and see which meetings actually hold value for you. look at your social calendar and see which meetings or dinners or events that you'd be so happy if they got cancelled. Because if, for example, I had a dinner with someone I aspired to be like, I wouldn't be happy if it got cancelled. I'd be gutted.
Yeah.
Because I would be so looking forward to that thing. So very quickly, you can see from your social calendar who you actually love, who you actually care for, and the things that excite you. And too many of us are spending too many times with people who don't excite us, who bore us, and we're just going because of social obligation. And it's really interesting because I'm getting married in 4 weeks. My wedding list is literally 4 weeks from today.
I'm so excited
a little
to
bit less.
see it.
And I haven't done as much planning as I would say 99% of people I know. And people always say to me, like, don't you really care? Or, you're just not bothered. And I'm like, something has to give. Something has to give. I cannot say yes to everything. So should I have spent the last year of my life, year and a half, we've been engaged, planning a wedding? Or should I have spent the last year rebuilding this podcast studio, working on another project? And by the way, there is no right and wrong. Everyone has different things that they love and prioritize and they can do. But I had to have that really difficult conversation with my parents, which was, I only want one event. You guys want 10,000. But if you guys want 10,000 events, I can't be a participant of that because I physically cannot say yes to everything. Because it's not even that I would burn out. I just would die. I wouldn't be able to do it. And I think we've got to learn how to say no, but we can only do that when we're super clear and transparent about what we want. How do people get super clear and transparent about what they want?
Ooh, so I'm going to put this question back on you in a second, because the way I think about strengths, and I would love to hear the way you think about it, is the way I think about a strength isn't something you're good at. It's not.
Interesting.
It's not something that you can wake up in the morning and do easily. So there's lots of things that I'm good at. Like, I'm good at decorating my home.
Yeah.
I'm good at reading books. I read books really fast. But they're not things that strengthen me necessarily. They're not things, so like I'm good at cleaning my shower. I do it really well.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if I spent all day cleaning showers, I would be bored. I would just be in my own head and be bored. To me, a strength is something that strengthens you. So it's something that at the end of every day, if you do it repeatedly, you're like, yes, I'm filled with energy. I love it. And the reality is, like, we can't constantly be working on our strengths. We have to do things we don't want to do, especially if we are a highly ambitious individual. You've got to do the things we don't want to do. But the strengths, like, I would just look at your day, look at your work day, look at your home day, your social day, and think, not what do I just like or what I'm good at. Think, what are the things that afterwards I feel challenged and I feel fulfilled in equal measure? I feel happy, but I also feel a little bit scared and a little bit uncomfortable. For me, it's talking on stages. Like, I did a conference last week. I've talked on hundreds of stages at this point, but I still get a little bit nervous before. And it's because I love it and I care about it so much. I care so much that the people in the audience are taking something away, even just one small nugget that can help them, that can change them. And because I care so much, that's where the nerves come in.
True.
That's why I love, just quick side note, when you're interviewing people, I usually love the most nervous person because it tells me they care a lot. Like,
Interesting.
They care so much that they actually feel quite nervous. And sometimes they'll call it out, or sometimes you can just see that they're a little bit kind of like sweaty, palmed. They talk fast. And I just think this person cares. Sometimes the person who's the most relaxed, the most calm, can talk the talk really well. I'm like, why are you so, you shouldn't be calm right now.
That's so interesting. I have such a different perspective.
Go on, I'd love to hear it.
I think the person who's very relaxed and very calm is so confident in their ability. I mean, I wouldn't say the person who's really nervous. I mean, if someone was so nervous, I would think they may be unprepared. There's nothing that grates on me more when people are unprepared.
Oh God,
it drives me absolutely mad. Like, one time I had a guest and I said, "Did you have a look at the questions?" She goes, "No, I haven't. Can you just show them to me?"
Turn around.
I
out
was
the door.
so angry in that moment. I just thought, you don't. And my thought was like, you just don't care. Like, you're just so unbothered. But I wouldn't actually say necessarily if someone's very nervous, I would think that they didn't care. I think that would come into my head as like, wait, are you really nervous because you're so unprepared? But I don't know. I'm just.
But you would
nitpicking.
quickly find that out, wouldn't you?
Of course you
so
would.
if they're nervous and underprepared, then no.
Yes.
But if they're nervous and actually really
really
prepared,
care.
they really
bless
prepare.
them.
Yeah,
So hard.
exactly. Because then I'm
I
like,
would encourage them. I would be that actually that has happened to me before when someone's interviewed me, and I'm just like, don't worry, like, it's just a casual chat. Like, it's fine, just trying to make that person feel
Yeah.
more comfortable.